Hello friends, welcome back. I am so happy to be back. If you're new here, welcome in. You can call me Ari. And where have I been? The last 2 weeks-ish, I was in South Africa. And well, let me tell you, that was a trip of a lifetime. I was there for about 10 days. I went to 4 different cities: Johannesburg, Sun City, Soweto, Cape Town. If you're interested in seeing a little bit about what that was kind of like through some videos and short clips, you can follow me on Instagram. That's where I was posting pretty much the whole time since I was there. Every day I had like a little bit of a Instagram wheel of images and stuff. So feel free to follow me if you're not following me there. If I'm not posting here, I try to tell you what's going on, why I'm away, and I've been active in the community post, so always check there if I'm not posting a video. Honestly, the trip to South Africa is going to live with me for the rest of my life. It's changed me in so many subtle ways that there's this empowerment that I feel, and I appreciated the experience so much. I didn't record everything. I didn't take pictures of everything I experienced because I wanted to really be immersed in the experience without always having my phone with me. It's hard to really embrace what's going on around you when you're looking at a screen the whole time. So yeah, it was a good time. I feel so good about it. And now I'm back to work, back to life, back to reality. And while I was there, I went to the same bookstore in 2 different cities 3 times. It's called Exclusive Books. So I stayed in a hotel in Johannesburg that was connected to a mall that had a bookstore connected to it. And I was only looking for books that were based in Africa, that were by African women specifically, not specific to South Africa, but just Africa in general. And so there was a whole section of books, nonfiction, South African books, Pan-African books, fiction books. There was a whole wall. And I didn't go too crazy because I had to bring stuff back and I had to have the weight limit under 50 pounds, and I bought a lot of other stuff. I want to share with you today all the books that I got while I was in South Africa and what I'm currently reading right now. So let's do it. So the first book I'm going to talk about is called Stay With Me by Ayobami Adebayo, and this is a really amazing, well-written book. It is a story that takes place in 1980s Nigeria, so at the height of political unrest in Nigeria, and we follow a family, specifically a husband and a wife, right? So we have 2 POVs. We have the husband's POV, we have the wife's POV, and the issue that is centering this novel, most of the beginning, is the fact that this couple is unable to conceive, and the husband's mother is very involved in their conception and the lack thereof. And she is basically like, you need another wife. You need someone who can have a child, because at this point we are under the impression that it is the wife's reproductive system that is having the struggle. He acquires this second wife without telling the first wife. And so essentially he gets married to her without the first wife's knowledge. And that creates a whole lot of tension. She's not feeling this new girl. She did not want to be a first wife. She didn't want to have a second, third. She does not want to be a part of that type of tradition. She was under the impression that he would never marry anyone else and it would just be her. So, and then we go through their journey together, navigating this second wife and their own, her own insecurities around, not being able to produce a child. The writing was amazing. The writing was like water, right? Like it just pulled out of the pages. It was so good. There were so many heavy things that were talked about and so many themes, so much, folklore was introduced as it relates to being a mother and childbirth. And the way that she writes is just, she makes it so easy to read these heavy topics. So I don't normally rate books, but I rated this one just so I could kind of remember how I felt about it. And I gave this one a 4.5 out of 5 stars. Okay, so the second book I'm going to share with you is one that I am currently reading. I just started it last night, and it is called Darlings of Durban. And it is by Shafinaaz, Hassim. And this is another book that has multiple POVs. First of all, the cover, gorgeous, gorgeous. We're following, I think, four different women, I believe. And they're different where they are in their relationships, and how some of them are married, some are in relationships with a man that is very mean, very unkind. Some are not yet married and are still trying to grab, because the thing about this book so far is what I'm understanding is that there are a lot of different cultural clashes, right? So people are getting married to people from, a South Asia background with someone who's a part of the Zulu heritage, and those kind of different cultures converging and how that can cause some clash. And our main girl, Natasha, she is grappling with the between, keeping her independence and working hard. She got her business, she's got her money, she's got her thing going, while also is in love with this man who comes from a Zulu background and wants her, her family wants her to be a traditional, how do you say it? A traditional makoti, a traditional daughter-in-law. And she's like, I don't want to do that. That's not the life I want to live. Her parents were in a similar situation where two cultures converged, and it was a very rough thing. And she had to watch her mom give up a lot of who she was to fit in with the culture of the man she was marrying. And so I'm only 30 pages in, but we already get all the POVs immediately. Like, we each chapter is like they're short chapters, but we go boom, 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 boom. And at first I was concerned because I love multiple POVs, but the thing about multiple POVs is how you introduce it as a writer. If you're just throwing it at people, throwing different stories all at once, it's hard to connect with the characters, and it's also hard to understand how all these characters are different. But what this writer has already done so well in 30 pages is made me understand these women and their families and their issues immediately. Like, I'm not confused at all. I am following already. And the dialogue, there's a lot of dialogue so far, and it's good. It is strong, and it only enhances who these characters are even more. So they're all a part of this WhatsApp group, and whenever there's an issue that one of them is having, they kind of take it to the group or to someone in the group, and they're able to kind of talk themselves down and understand, give themselves a kind of a place to go when things are getting hard. As it is Women's Month, I already read books by and for and about women. That's just what I do. I practically, honestly, if you look back at all my videos, if not all the books, like 98% of the books I read are by Black women. And so I'm not really going to be doing anything differently this month. I'm just going to kind of keep doing what I've been doing because that's how I read. So the next one I got is a bit of a thickums, and it is called A Family Affair by Sue Nyathi. I think I'm saying that right. And so it's like a family saga, which I love. I love a generational story where it seems like not much happens, right? We're just following the lives of normal people figuring out the world. But that's the kind of stuff that I gravitate towards the most, just like the regular stuff that people deal with. and we are following the Mafus family. They are leaders of the church, right? So they've got some status and they've got a reputation to maintain. And there are 3 daughters. This is also a multi-POV book. We follow all 3 of these girls, and they each want different things. One girl has left her home and is coming back in hopes to take over the family business. One sister is super rebellious and she kind of turns a leaf and is now entering another chapter of her life about in marriage and family. And then there's another sister who is in the middle of that journey of marriage and family and is not happy. She's having a hard time. And so I think what I'm getting from what this could be about is just like how these women navigate the expectations of their background, the expectations of their family, and the fact that they hold a very high status within the town they live in, the city they live in. It's they have a lot to kind of keep under wraps, but this is going to, I think, be a book about how that kind of unravels. So the last book I have is called The First Woman by Jennifer Makumbi, and this is a coming of age story about a girl named Caribou. It says Ugandan folklore meets modern feminism. So we're following Caribou as she is coming of age, learning about who she is, and navigating the traditions of her Ugandan family. But as she does, she is growing up and wants to learn where her mother is. She has been separated from her mother somehow, some point, some way in her life, and she wants to go out and find her and understand what happened to her mom, why'd she leave, what was going on in her life that made her leave me. And so she leaves her Ugandan home, her family, and ventures out on her own journey to finding her mother, to finding herself. That is The First Woman. That's the last book I am sharing with you today. So these are all the books. I'll have them listed below. I just love learning about different cultures, and the fact that I was able to actually go to South Africa and experience a lot of the culture and learn a lot about it was amazing for me. And honestly, such an eye-opening trip. If you're from there or if you've ever been there, let me know. Thank y'all so much for watching, continuing to support even after the 2 weeks I've been gone. Y'all been engaging with me in the community tab. I share like a community question every twice a week now. I'm sharing something new and like kind of, wanting to engage with y'all. Don't forget to like the video. Not only does it make my heart super duper happy, but it also shows the algorithm I'm doing something right and will recommend me to more like-minded people like you. So yeah, have a great rest of your Sunday, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Bye.